What is going on, everybody? One Piece 485. Had a little bit of time to get ahead here, so you guys haven't seen 484 by the time I'm recording this. So I'm not going to spend too much time recapping because a lot of the questions are still going to be the same. Essentially, the overarching question of the entire story now, in my opinion, and I talked about it last episode. We still have a whole power system to be introduced to that they've, flirted with this entire arc, which I feel personally takes away from the arc not having that power system established. You could say just don't mention it, but then it's also like even dumber to the viewer that you're telling me essentially some of the strongest people in the world at this point are on screen and they don't know about this power system. So we're just supposed to be like pretend that they don't know it, and then I feel like it's a dropped ball moment. I didn't enjoy that about the arc, and we'll talk about the overall arc when we get. I think we have like 3 or 4 episodes left until we get to the end of it. But with the story, with the world, we've got Haki, we've got the other 4, I guess at this point 3 emperors to be introduced to. We've got like the world government and the celestial dragons, the pony graph stuff, and all the getting back together with the crew and yada 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 blah blah blah. But I feel all of that is kind of like a bar below what becomes of Luffy and his character, especially in here going forward. That's essentially what I feel like is the biggest takeaway from this arc. Giving so much time and effort to rescuing Ace, and not only do you like not rescue him, you like semi-rescue him, and then he is murdered and dies in your arms, and it's not even that like you were strong enough and just like failed at the end. Like you weren't even remotely close to strong enough. And honestly, if not for plot, I don't think he gets that close, or they get that close to almost getting out in general. That's my biggest takeaway from all this so far, is what becomes of Luffy's character going forward. Will he ever remotely be the same? Will he ever be the same again? I feel like this will change him forever. I don't know if there'll be anything that'll give him that closure. I'm sure there'll be something, but where he directs that rage, I'm curious. I'm assuming they didn't kill Sakazuki there when he kind of fell off, which looks to be into the water. But I feel like that's kind of anticlimactic for his character. Not that I need to see Luffy murder him, but it doesn't like it gives no place for Luffy to kind of like direct his anger towards. But it did give Whitebeard a place to direct his anger. But I would be okay if he was actually dead there, but I don't think that he is. And there's a lot of questions going forward of like Garp and Boa and some of the others that did things or were about to do things. I'm disappointed in Garp a little bit because I would like to see him like fight back a little bit against Goku. Now you could say he can't do that, but he'll get in trouble and yada yada blah blah blah. And it's like, what is Goku's power level at this point? What is Garp's power level at this point? Whole bunch of questions with that, and Goku's devils for yada yada blah blah blah. We will talk about all that when we get to the end of the arc. But where we left off at, which I'm not currently a fan of, but we'll see how it plays out. Blackbeard and his crew show up. Now, these other crew members that we haven't seen yet, I don't know if they were always a part of Blackbeard's crew, and they just happened to get themselves captured in the moments that he has escaped Whitebeard's ships, wherever he might have been at the time. And then to the moment that we catch up with him before we go to Skypiea. Were those members that he broke out of the prison, were they a part of his crew before then and just got captured? Did he acquire them after we went to Skypiea and they got captured? Or did he just enlist them in the crew at this moment? Questions with that. Shiru, which we see Goku, scolding him for. I guess he's completely flipped sides with that. And then I guess a follow-up question on that is, Magellan? Did he 1, just not see them escape, or 2, did they beat his ass? I don't know if we'll get an answer to like how they still had to get out of the prison. And then the question of, because we're kind of getting to the end of the arc here, is who let us in? For a moment there, I thought it was Blackbeard, but there's no way Blackbeard got there before us, I would think. So I don't think we still have answered the question who opened the gate for us there in the beginning. So that's kind of where we're at. Ace has passed away. He's been killed. honestly by his own doing. Whitebeard's kind of going crazy here. I'm gonna be very upset if Blackbeard like deals the final blow. That's gonna be the cherry on top of like the shitstorm of things I did not like about this arc. But I will say, we're gonna spend time diving into it as I drag this over here to get started. We're gonna dive into all this at the end. Even though I have a lot to criticize about it and a lot of missed opportunities, it still is the best arc that I've seen in One Piece till this point. So do what you want with that information. 45, let's see what we got. Oh, he's asking the questions right now. What happened to Magellan? He's asking the smart questions. I don't like Shiru's character at all, to be honest with you. Maybe he'll grow on me as we go. Yeah, if they're there, that means they did defeat Magellan. Which is unfortunate, because he did kill them on the way. Oh. Who's this? Eh? Just now? What? What? I think he might be referring to somebody else. Who's opening these damn gates? Eh? Oh, so he got somebody to open it. For any Navy ship that approaches. Okay, well, that answers that question. 2 questions. What happened to Magellan? How did the gates open? Answered and answered. And then you have to start asking the questions like, what all of this did Blackbeard plan for? I don't think he was thinking big brain when he left Whitebeard's ship that I'm going to try to get in with the Marines, to then backstab them, to then hope that they take down Whitebeard, to then hope that I take his positions as one of the 4 emperors, you know? But I think that's what he's going for here, is he wants that position that Whitebeard's about to vacate. Now how one goes about really being granted that or called that, I don't know. I feel like he would need a lot more to rally to him than what he currently has. But I feel like now that we kind of see the picture being painted, I think that's what he's going for. Oh, bitch. I just hope he goes as crazy for as long as he can. I hope Whitebeard goes off for as long as he can. Somebody's going to end up blinking on him and stabbing him out. The triple replay, in my opinion. And another thing, I can't take Blackbeard serious because like he just willingly takes damage. And then just like reverbs his devils to like get out of it. And he's gotten his life saved already once. I don't know, I don't enjoy Blackbeard's character up to this point in the story. Maybe it'll get better. I'm sure we'll get more of him, and I'm sure he's going to be an enemy of the state. And by enemy of the state, I mean Luffy. So I'm sure we'll get some Blackbeard backstory and explanation on all his shit. But we'll see. I'm really going to hate if this turns into a Whitebeard versus Blackbeard fight here, and Blackbeard's the one that like puts the final blow on him to put him down. It's ruining everything. It truly is. I don't like this at all. Marco, can you fly over there? You literally can shoot that gap. Thatch. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. You're dying. Let's say, Marco, if you don't shoot that gap, If you don't fly over there with your phoenix ass. Honestly, okay, I'll respect his command now, but if they jump his ass, I'm flying over there. Like, what are we... Huh? And now we get Blackbeard versus an old, sick, and severely injured Whitebeard. Awesome. At least everybody will get a look at his Devil's Fruit. This will be maybe good research for later when we have to throw hands. Yeah, everybody will get to see this, Navy included. Where are the other warlords, by the way? Aside from Boa, she's the only one they've showed. And we don't even know how to combat this. I still, and I can't Google it because I'm sure I'll get spoiled of whatever his fate turns out to be. Whether he's redeemed or killed or anything. I don't understand what his Devil's Fruit does and or is. And I can't research it. The most dominant dark fruit. Now I know there can only be one Devil's Fruit holder per fruit, right? Is there only one fruit per ability in the world? Because my follow-up question to that is, if the Devil's Fruit user dies, is that fruit just off the board for all of existence? Does the fruit regrow? Could you then, if you still had the fruit, could you then bite said fruit because there's not a user still alive? What are the technicalities on that? He's just gonna eat it. Yep. Now here's the thing, though. It drags in and nullifies. Yeah, I know that part as much as his Devil's Fruit. It cancels out other Devil's Fruit. That much I know. My question is, can you not just beat his ass if you have a strong enough Haki? One would assume. I would assume. Okay, yeah, you nullified my shit. Now I'm just hitting you with the Haki now. The sound effects are insane. But I hate this so much. This is the one thing I didn't want to happen at all. Can you not Quake the area around? Oh, bitch. Yeah, why don't I just hit you with this? Like, I don't need to actually Quake you with my fruit. I can still use... That's what I'm saying. Like, you can still use weapons. And he's not going to heal that, right? Because I know he eats up damage, but, like, and then he ends up not taking damage. But that's a different type of damage, no? I don't know. And he's about to get his ass jumped by Blackbeard's crew, so... Do it. Do it. Do it. Bro. I was about to say, don't you dare let him troll you too. I'm so tired of Ace and others getting manipulated by words out here. If you don't Quake this man's skull off, and honestly, that should be the third person he's killed with that Quake shit, to be honest. The story is making it so that they survive. Some of the shit is ridiculous. There should be 3 confirmed deaths in this story. The giant that he Quaked at his skull, Sakazuki that he Quaked at point blank skull, and Blackbeard should be dead from that. So, okay, so here's the thing with him eating damage, though. If he takes Devil's Fruit damage, does he get to, like, absorb it and nullify a little bit of it? But he still takes full damage from, like, weapons and Haki? Or, like, what's this? I don't know. There's a lot of specifics on the Blackbeard ability that I don't know what he's able to do. What's wrong? I've got 2 bowling ball size holes in my chest. I'm an old man and I have a disease. That's like the... Oh, there's one fishman. Pieces of shit. I know I'm supposed to wait for... Okay, yeah, on top of his worsening health. Yeah, he's taking a lot of damage. I mean, he's at the end of it all. I know that I'm supposedly supposed to get an explanation on why the fishmen aren't here, but it might be like 400 episodes until I get that explanation, but it's so fucked. The way Jinbei talks about what he did for fishmen and why Jinbei is so loyal to like him and Ace and everything. And the fact that they're not here. Now, whatever that reason is a couple hundred episodes from now, maybe I'll feel better about it. But right now it's pretty shit. And this man is turning into the Red Hulk. We know who's stopping this? I think that gunshot was enough. I hate that so much. I hate this so much. I'm sure people may hate this reaction because of my thoughts on this. I hate everything about the way this is ending. So much. Oh my god. I don't enjoy the way this is going about. I just don't. It just such a sour taste in my mouth for the arc. Again, I still think it's the greatest arc up to this point in the story. I really, truly hate the introduction of Blackbeard's crew in here and that they get to deal the final blows to him. I just don't like it at all. I don't think there's anything redeeming about it. It kind of like puts a sour taste, like with everything that we've been building up to and all the characters here, that they just get to swoop in here towards the end is kind of shit. Is this still going? Jesus. We're halfway? I feel like we watched 20 minutes worth. Oh no, we're way past halfway. Okay, we'll see. We'll see what we got. But yeah, as far as Blackbeard and what he can nullify, because we've seen him eat a lot of damage. I don't know what his fruit is allowing him to do, if he like absorbs Devil's Fruit damage, because he still takes damage. But like, it doesn't affect him as much. But is it just Devil's Fruit damage that doesn't affect him as much? Like if I slice the fuck out of him, is he feeling that 100% and not getting any of that damage back? If I hit him with Haki, is it full damage? Because he seems to like not take the full brunt of Devil's Fruit damage, or he does but somehow gets to like not be fully effective. I don't know. A Roger Whitebeard flashback though? Ooh, a young Whitebeard. I hope that later on in the story we get more backstory of Whitebeard. King of the Pirates. Look at the white hair. Now you start to ask yourself, what's the power difference between these two at this time? The D? Are we getting an explanation on that? Initial? Ooh. What does it stand for? Anybody? Hello? That could be a great info drop here. And we're not going to find out, are we? A flashback in a ah, bitch. A flashback in a flashback? We didn't get it. Jesus. I wonder what... Now, I'm assuming that Roger maybe always was like a step stronger. But... he just ate all of that. I mean, now we're going to die, but... So he was on his crew for a long time, because that was a young Whitebeard. That was a young Whitebeard, and he said Teach was on his squad. Well, we know they made it out, just given the distractions that are going on. I don't know who that ship was that got in. That Navy guy came up and said a ship got in, but I don't think he was referring to them. I can't believe they just teased us with what the D initial stands for. How dare you? Yeah, talk that shit. And why is Sengoku yoked as fuck? He said the treasure, like he's talking about it. Goku over there pissing down his leg. Goku's so stressed at all times. So I don't know if I enjoy his character or not. Now, I've been told the One Piece is still an actual thing, and that Oda isn't about, like, making a treasure that's not real, and the treasure is just, like, the friends you make along the way. People tell me that shit all the time. Like, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. Like, the One Piece does exist. But I'm told it still hasn't been found until this point in the story, like, where you guys are in the 1100 episodes. But my question to that is, so has Whitebeard himself seen it? Whatever it is. I don't know if it's a treasure, a sword, a goblet, a cup, a coin. I don't know what it is. I wonder if Whitebeard's seen it. And Roger himself has seen it. And what is it? Like, does it give you control of the weapon that everybody's so afraid of, or what? I don't know. Good questions. I mean, Whitebeard instantly elevates to, like, top 5, top 3 character now. Marco was his first. Well, at least judging by that imagery. Man, I really hope that we get more of Whitebeard as the story goes. Whether it's through flashbacks of other characters, which, whether I'm sure we're gonna get crazy Roger flashbacks. I hope that includes Whitebeard as well. I feel like there's so much story there, and I just want to see a prime Whitebeard in action if we get to see any of that. I wonder if we'll ever get to know what his sickness truly was. Not that it matters because he's dying anyway, but I'm curious of just what it was. Does anybody else have it? Is that an issue that we need to be aware of? Oh. See, like, why did he call all of them his sons? What did he grow up without? Like, why did he want that, you know? I'd like to see some time put in with Whitebeard. Will we get that? Who knows? Maybe if we get Gold Roger flashbacks, there'll be a lot of Whitebeard in it. Because Whitebeard was never on Roger's crew, correct? They were just coming up at the same time, I think. I don't know. Does he just die standing there like that? Damn. And yeah, so that such a win for the world government. They took out Whitebeard. That's crippling to everything out there. He is dead. And then narrator comes in. Where the hell have you been? For his crew, that's awful. They lost Whitebeard and Ace. They're worse off now than when they showed up. They lost so many bodies. Ace died. And they lost Whitebeard. And losing Whitebeard is losing everything. Damn. Sheesh. 267 wounds. And yeah, I think about 260 of them were just now. 152. 46 cannons. Jesus. And this was broadcasted still? And the jacket falls off. And he doesn't have a scar on his back because he never ran. Dope. I really enjoyed Whitebeard's character a lot. I hope that we get to see a little bit more of it. And I bring up Naruto a lot just because it's kind of the only show that I've watched that's kind of been on the same scale of what I've seen in One Piece so far, as far as the world building and the character building. Now I know everybody tells me all the time One Piece is the best world building, yada yada yada. It's a bit okay, I'll give you that, but I haven't gotten there yet. So let it cook for a little bit. But I compare it to Naruto so much because it's the only thing I have to compare it to scale wise. And I'm hoping that, you know, with the Whitebeard and with Roger and some of the other ones, that maybe we don't get it now, but you know how in Naruto they would sprinkle the name like Madara and Hashirama throughout the story. We'd randomly kind of see them, you know, pluck in, pluck out, pluck in, pluck out. But we never really got like a story about them until, you know, kind of the later on. I don't think we're going to get any crazy reanimation Devil's Fruit here to see them on screen again. But I truly hope that we learn more. I mean, Roger for sure. We're going to get much about Roger for sure. I'm almost positive. But I hope Whitebeard and some of the others are included in that, because I feel like they're so incomplete story-wise. Like, yes, we saw them die, so I guess their stories are complete. But I just want to learn more about the character and everything like that, you know? I think when he was going Red Hulk, like, had to be the fucking best shit. Yeah, that's pretty great. The sound effect that they use for his dark fruit and the Quake stuff is crazy. But yeah, let's just get this out of the way. I feel like the more this motherfucker is on the screen, my dislike of him like continues to go up. And that's Blackbeard. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the voice. I don't know if it's his mannerisms or his personality, or like the nonchalantness, or like the, oh, I don't know what's going on, and like just eats damage and like spits it back. I don't know what it is, or maybe it's all of it. I just don't like that character at all. Every time he's on screen, it gets worse and worse. And I feel like I liked his character there when we met him in Skypiea 300 or 200 something episodes ago. But the more, and even when we found out what his name was and then he had a crew, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. But like ever since he ran into Ace and then was like trying to get the Warlord position, and then we run into him at Impel Down, and then now here, I've just have liked him less and less and less. And like I said, I don't appreciate the way that, like, yes, was Whitebeard going to die without them showing up? Yes. Did they probably speed up the process by an extra 5 or 10 minutes? Sure. But I feel like we had such a good kind of like build up here, and Whitebeard had like kept fighting these characters off. And, you know, I wanted it to be some combination of like Kizaru, Okaji, maybe Goku steps up, Garp puts his hand in the ring to try to get him to calm. You know, just, we had built up these characters kind of like going at it for, I don't know, 15, 20, 30 episodes. And for Blackbeard and them just to show up, it just, I don't know, puts a sour taste. I didn't enjoy that part of the story at all. I don't know. Again, maybe this is one of those videos that's going to get a ton of dislikes and comments about me not appreciating XYZ. That's just how I feel. I just didn't like that at all. Blackbeard showing up and essentially, you know, putting the nail in the coffin. Made for a couple cool moments. Again, him quaking the shit out of him, and him over there eating the damage, and the narrator chiming in about like how much damage he took is pretty crazy. And the more and more I think about it, do I think they could, if the only variable you changed in this was just making it prime Whitebeard, I think it gives them a very, I would give it 100%, like 50-50 coin flip chance that like they succeed in getting Ace out of there and everybody alive, or it could go to the side of the Marines. I truly do think if everybody's going all out and everybody's like, because the story's been like flirting with us on like Haki and like who has it, who doesn't, is that Haki, is it not, because it hasn't been introduced yet into the story. And I'm curious at this point in the story when he was writing whatever, I don't know what chapter this correlates to, but around like the 400s in the episodes, had he himself even fully like, you know, I don't know how much more episodes we finally do get an explanation of Haki, but like, did he already have in his head an idea of like what Haki was and what it was going to become? I'm curious if he just only ever started, or if it would just started out with Devil's Fruits and then grew to include a power system that maybe he didn't have a grasp yet of here, so that's why it wasn't. So I'm just curious like why it's not introduced here, you know? And we'll talk about that when we review the arc as a whole when it finishes. But I feel like it's a very interesting choice to like leave it out because so many characters are using it. And some of the strongest characters we've ever got introduced to are using it. So it's like, holy fuck, what is that? And our main character has it as well. So I'm wondering if like Haki was just in its infant stages at this point and he didn't know what it was and what it was going to become. Or he knew and this is just how he wanted to map it out. I don't know. I'm curious if he never thought Haki was going to be a thing and this was just going to be a story about Devil's Fruits and sword fighting and pirates. I don't know. But yeah, it was kind of cool to see. And again, I know they don't, it's crazy to say that, but yes, One Piece doesn't kill anybody, let's be honest. Yes, they just killed Ace. Yes, they just killed Whitebeard. But I say that to say, I don't know how the three people that have taken point blank headshot Quakes to the face, to the skull, to the brain, how they're even alive. Okay? That shit makes, first of all, the fact that the head just doesn't burst from a physiological standpoint is mind-blowing in itself. But it's like, okay, it's an anime, whatever. But how their brains itself just aren't turning into scrambled or turning into sunny side up eggs and then leaking out of their ears, I don't know. But they're just eating it is insane to me. I think that should be 3 confirmed kills without even question. The Vice Admiral Giant, Sakazuki, and Blackbeard, I feel like should be dead on arrival there with that. But with as limited information as we had about him, I say that I wish we would have gotten more information on Ace. It would have made, you know, kind of the story and the death hit a little bit harder because they crammed all of Ace's like backstory and everything in the same time where we're trying to figure out like, oh, is he gonna live here? So it's kind of hard to like really like dive deep in there with Ace when like I'm getting his backstory and he's like being killed at the same time. But we got even less about Whitebeard, but like you kind of like hear the name and the lore of it. And it had been built up there for a little bit. I really did enjoy his character though. I don't know if this is crazy to say, but the information that I have up until this point, episode 485, I like if I'm ranking characters or who I enjoy more, I prefer Whitebeard's character over Ace. Is that like crazy to say? I don't know. Just him overall as a character, and I feel like there's so much more status and lore to it. That I just prefer his character more. Now, so we're 40. I've been told it ends on 489, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we got 4 more episodes. Everybody's still got to get out of here, acting like they can't mobilize units to like go and hunt them down. I know Jinbei's like running his ass off. Do they just get on a ship and sail away and we just kind of get this ominous ending to the arc? And then this was all broadcasted too, so the world, it's not like the world's gonna find out and hear rumors or anything. Like Ace has been killed and Whitebeard's killed, dead. They're both dead as well. And kind of like we talk about, like that sends a quake, wink wink, through the, I don't know what word to give both sides, but that sends a quake through the pirate world and the marine world government world, in my opinion. The biggest threat to the world government is killed, taken out, for all to see. So you got to feel great about that. And then on the pirate side, it's like twofold. It's the pirates took him. It's not like the pirates all flying under one banner. Maybe Luffy will unite them in the end. Who knows? But in the pirate world, it's like holy shit, there's a big vacant seat opening. You know, all of Whitebeard's crew that survived, like they're gonna look for like a captain to rally to, maybe, or something. Or maybe Marco becomes the captain and kind of leads whatever the remainder of the crew. But regardless, there's a big power just vacuum. Someone needs to rise up and take that space. I'm assuming, well, they don't have to rise up and take that space. The other three, which I guess includes, is it Shanks? And then 2 silhouettes we haven't seen. Maybe they just kind of like eat up the remaining power. Maybe some of the crews like kind of flock to them. The remaining Whitebeard's crew kind of flock to those 3. Or maybe Blackbeard thinks it's him and it should be his seat. So there's a big power vacuum there that like people might pounce on. You know, Crocodile wants it, and Doflamingo and others were talking about it. And then it's also like, if you're a pirate thinking like you were going to do something in this world or find the One Piece, or that you could take the government, you got to feel pretty shit right now, because it's like, if Whitebeard couldn't do it, how do we? And it's like, do pirates start to like, you know, it's the great pirate boom, the great pirate era. I wonder if that kind of like takes a hit there, because people are going to be scared. If you're not like a Shanks that has power on you, or like whoever the others are, you're kind of in like Luffy's group. Well, the young might not care, but it's like, damn, should we do this? Should we continue to keep this pirate life if Whitebeard himself got defeated by them? Like, what hope is there for us? But we'll see. A lot of questions with that. We got a couple more episodes with this. I'm trying to think what I guess the major plot point, because now that Whitebeard's dead and Ace is dead, you know, Blackbeard has showed his hand and everything. I guess the only thing now is for them to get fully out of Marine territory. Which again doesn't seem too great. Even if they get on a ship, they got to get through the I don't know. Seems like a lot. And we did get and I don't know if it has a part to play, that one of the Whitebeard's crewmates, I don't know if it's his first in command or what, he has a hypnotizing ability. Now I'm gonna assume he didn't. I don't know if, because again, with Haki, I don't know if you can tell that you're under the influence of something, or there's a devil's fruit effect on you. Like, if something is of the mind, I wonder if you would feel that like your Haki levels are off or something's wrong here. But I'm going to assume that the crewmate with the hypnotizing ability, he hasn't used it on any of the Marines, has he? To influence like Blackbeard getting a position or helping them. Like, we saw him use it on the lower levels, but like them giving him that warlord position wasn't influenced by any of his like hypnosis abilities, right? It was just because he presented them Ace, so they just fully gave it to him, or was there a little more push there? Who knows? It could be nothing, could be something, I don't know. But yeah, we'll go ahead. A lot to talk about. I could go on about the whole arc, but I'm trying to contain it until we finish it. I'm just curious like how they're going to stretch them trying to escape across like 2 to 4 episodes. But we'll see. Appreciate it, everybody. Like, share, subscribe, and as always,